into Sheringham, and Solskjaer won it!
I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mag 247. This week's podcast, we're joined by my co-host Killian. How are you, mate?
Very well, pal. Very well. And you?
We've got Daz, we've got Benno, and we've got Chase on today. First, we're going to talk about the Remembrance Day. So we want to send our best wishes to everyone. So, Remembrance Day. Lest we forget, we will never. We will always remember them from everyone at the Mag 247. I'm sure everyone sends their best wishes, and we will get this out on social media, and everyone can share it and show the love for our fallen soldiers. So, over to you, Killian.
Good evening, gents. So, kick it off. We're going to just go through a bit of post-match thoughts. I'll kick it off, then I'll go to Daza, and then Benno, and then Chase, and back to yourself, Jono.
Cool.
So, obviously, we got the win, 1-0. I don't have too much to say on the game. I wasn't happy with the performance again. But yeah, 3 points, a win's a win. We get another clean sheet. And that's me. I'm not going to add too much to it. We can delve into it later on, but standout performer, we can come to that again later on. But yeah, Dazza, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I think my overriding feeling watching the game was I remember looking at the clock at 75 minutes, 80 minutes, thinking we're never going to lose this game. I didn't ever feel we were ever in danger of losing the game. I thought the performance is still not there, but like I said to a few people on Twitter in the last couple of days, we're winning ugly. The positives are it's another clean sheet, another makeshift defence, and another clean sheet for Onana. He's now racking these clean sheets up. He's now in the top 5 of clean sheets in the Premier League. Our form in the last 5 games in the Premier League is now getting there as well. So yeah,
we're top, aren't we, for the last 5 games? Which is mental.
Top in the last 5 games. So yeah, not much to say about the performance. It wasn't there, but they dug it out. They dug it out, and that's where I'm at just now. That's where I'm at. Quite happy.
Yeah, fair dues. Benno, thoughts?
Evening, gents. I'll be honest with you, I've got a slightly different tune to what obviously you two have said previously. Now, I think, yes, okay, we can argue the performance wasn't quite there, but that is probably our most dominating performance that we've had of the season. Now, we created 15, 16 good chances there. And my argument is, if we score 4 or 5 chances like we should have done by half time, people would be in a different way. Now, I get it. I get what people are saying, but how many times, years gone by, have we battered teams 1-0? You know, keepers made a couple of good saves. We've missed some clear and obvious chances. That falls down to our front line. That's not on the manager. It's not on the performance. Another week, we're coming away 5 or 6-0 there. But I am going to agree with what Taz is saying. You know, we never looked like losing that game. And that was the big thing. We never looked like losing it. And it was a completely chalk and cheese result if you compare it to the Fulham game. And yesterday, Fulham game was shit. Let's be honest with you. We had one good chance all game and we scored it. Yesterday, we could have blown them away. But unfortunately, it boils down to that front three again, not taking the chances. So that's the name.
Yeah, and Masood said it perfectly here. We need forwards to be more critical. This will help us control games better. Basically, what you just said there, Benno, by Masood.
Chaser, thoughts on the game, bro?
We were fucking shit. Pardon me, but I'm not going to be fake about it. We were shit. The amount of chances we created, just couldn't finish the dinner whatsoever. We were lucky to get that goal. It didn't feel as if we were gonna lose. I mean, Luton had that one header chance, that was it. But it didn't feel also as if we were going to score because we just couldn't finish to save our lives.
But just to go off that, Chase, sorry, I'm going to come at you a little bit here, though. But you're saying that, but I'd be more concerned if we weren't making chances. You know, if we can't be playing that shit if we're creating the amount of chances that we're doing. Not taking them is a different aspect of the game. If we'd have won that 5-0 yesterday, I guarantee you wouldn't be saying what you're saying right now.
If we're talking about chances, we're creating 1.8 chances per game. So it's not the chances created, it's the finishing. You can create as many chances as you want in a match. If you can't fucking finish, it doesn't mean shit.
But not finishing your chances doesn't mean you're shit. Doesn't mean it's a shit performance. It's a shit finishing.
4 shots on target against Luton's embarrassing.
Yeah,
it's the story of the season. It's the story of the season so far.
15 shots. 15 of those. Only 4 on target.
I do have to say, though, and I've been saying this for maybe a couple of weeks now, I think me and Benny were talking about this the other day. I think, see, when this clicks, and it's going to click against somebody, we are going to give somebody an absolute spanking. I'm telling you.
I'm waiting for it, Dad. I'm waiting for you.
I think that's the thing. It's not the formation. It's not the tactics. I mean, you could say we're creating chances. We're creating loads of chances, but we're not getting them on target, and we're not finishing them when we have the chance. That's the problem. That's the cooker.
As Daz has said, sorry to go again, but something like, as we said, will click, but we'll play a lot worse than we did yesterday, and we'll beat a team 3 or 4-0, and people will be on their high horses saying how great a team performance it was.
I won't hold me breath, Benno, but fair enough. Nah, I'm not buying any of that. To be fair, it's Luton Town at home, Old Trafford, 75,000. Nah, we had 15 shots. We should be having 30 shots. We should be scoring.
It's not good enough.
Multiple goals against them. They're muck. Nah, I'm not buying it. I'm not happy with it. Not happy with the performance, regardless of how many chances we created. We're doing this every game. We're making chances every game, and we're not putting them away. And if it wasn't Luton Town, we would have got punished. It's as simple as that. All it takes is one set piece against us, and we're so vulnerable. You know, we were just lucky. Luton Town are muck. That's my opinion, honestly.
Yeah, I couldn't put it better myself. I think not a great performance, but we got the result again, which is the most important point. Points on the table, and we just have to keep getting points on the table till these results come. I think another striker in January is very important. I'd go all in for Ivan Toney. He's back in January. I'd throw.
I'll be honest with you, Jono. I don't think Ivan Toney scores goals in this team.
Mate, Harry Kane would struggle to score goals in his team with the type of advances we'd make him.
You're talking about Ivan Toney. We have the same type of player. That's Rasmus Højlund. And yet he's struggling to get goals. So what is Ivan Toney going to do that's so fucking special? Nothing.
But we shouldn't be playing a 19-year-old Højlund.
Ivan Toney's a better finisher than Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, that's true. I'll agree with Benno on that one.
Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure though, playing a 19-year-old 3 times in a week, and that's why he's got injured. Hopefully that's not bad, because if that's bad, we're screwed.
I agree with you, John. It's a necessity that we get one. Do I think we'll get one? Depends on what happens over the next few weeks, doesn't it?
No expectations are the best way, I think.
Zero expectations here.
Is there any forwards at Nice that we can nick instead of him?
Can we stick?
Maybe you know, maybe the towel boy will be a good one. Get him in there.
Yeah. Player of the match, guys. I'll kick it off. I think hands down Maguire for me. Dazza?
Harry Maguire. Listen, I've been his biggest critic at times, but hats off to the kid. He's playing really well. He's playing to his ability. He's playing to the best of his ability. So, what do you think is good enough for us is a different conversation. The boy's playing well, man. So, yeah, playing the man of the match for me.
Benno agrees, do you?
Harry Maguire. Yeah, no, I have to agree. To be fair, he he won everything at the back. He was dictating the play from the halfway line when he had the ball. He started a lot of our attacking play as well. So it's like I say, hats off to the guy. The amount of shit he's had off not just our fan base, off the international fan base or whoever. At the end of the day, he's got his head down, and it shouldn't matter about what he's done previously or anything like that. Whether you like him or whether you're not. Hats off to the guy. He's our standout performer right now. Whether people like it or they're not, just accept it.
100%.
And yeah, fair play to the guy. Fair play to the guy. For what he's gone through, guarantee some people would have crumbled. Some people would have just done
I
that. So
think
now,
it's
hats
just the
off to the guy.
pressure of removing the captain's armband from him.
I
Honestly,
don't even necessarily think it's that. I think he's got a bit of confidence up. He's got a bit of belief that he knows he's playing. He was in and out. He was on the bench playing 10 minutes here. Players need runs of games. How many times have we said that people need to run the games? And centre back's one of the toughest positions to play, and you can't expect people to get up to the pace of the game if they're not playing. So yeah, like we say, fair play to him. And you know what I'm going to say? Fair play to Ten Hag as well, because he's clearly had a chat with him, and whether they had an issue or not, whatever, we don't know. But Maguire got his head down, he pulled his socks up, and he's putting in the performances. We can't ask for any more of it. And as I said, whether we think that's good enough for us or not, doesn't matter. As of right now, what he's doing is good enough for us, and we've got to accept that.
We said it in the podcast previously, that other people in that squad, other boys in that squad, need to take a leaf out of his book, because he's taking shit from left, right, and centre. And I'm thinking about, Jadon Sancho. I'm thinking about Marcus Rashford. I'm thinking about all of these boys. They want to look at Harry Maguire and think, you know what? I need to get my head down and knuckle down here. Because that guy's just went in there and knuckled his ass.
I'd say the same with Scott McTominay as well.
The biggest credit I can give Maguire is he got everything taken away from him. Everything. His position, captaincy, his reputation, everything ripped away from him. And then he has the talk with Ten Hag. This is your chance now. And he's taking it. He's taking his chance that he's been given. And he's running with it to the best of his ability. And the fact that the best of his ability makes him the best player on our squad right now, that fucking tells something about this squad. Tells something about our squad. If one guy who gets everything taken away from him, and now he's performing to the best of his ability, and he's the best player in that squad, that's something. That's something.
On that, do you think a massive part of it as well is obviously, it's been in the news about Varane not starting the last couple of games, and we haven't had that steady partnership all season because of injuries. Do you think he is just Ten Hag is not wanting to change that back to build a partnership there till we get our top defenders back?
I mean, it's
the partnership is very key in a team.
You've got to look at things. Got to look at things holistically. Where there's times when we could argue last year that even Martinez and Varane as a pairing looks very, very vulnerable. City away, Liverpool away, they were the pairing in those games. So he talks about building partnerships and connections on and off the pitch, but changing your centre backs every other game. One of the best attributes you can have as a footballer, and anyone who's played a high level of sport or anything like that will agree this as well. The best attribute you can have is your fitness and availability. More than anything, you could be the most gifted player in the world, but if you're not fit, what does it matter? Harry Maguire's available. Hats off to the guy. At the end of the day, that's his centre back spot to lose.
The two players that keep getting standouts to me is Maguire and Reguilon.
Reguilon's played 90 minutes in the last month. So
every time I see Reguilon, the kid gives it all, and creates so many chances going forward. Just defends everywhere on the pitch, runs after anybody, doesn't care about putting a challenge in. Him and Maguire, for me, are the two standouts so far in the squad lately.
I know we spoke about it in the last podcast, but I really do think this is the the clock winding down on Varane with us. I think this is I think Erik knows it, and I think he's now planning for without him, to be honest.
Does it? What do you think has happened? Because clearly you could see when he came off the bench, Erik Ten Hag didn't even look at him. You could see by the body language there was something. There was definitely something up. So, what in your thoughts?
So,
what do you think's gone on?
This is just my opinion. I think Varane, and I don't like to put him in the same group as this guy because I really respect him. But Van Persie was a player that had to be 100% fit to play. If he was 99% fit, he wouldn't play. And I think Varane is even worse than that. And I think in times of struggle and desperation, Ten Hag's been looking about, right, who can play, who's fit, who can play, and Varane's not been available. And I just think maybe he's not a Ten Hag signing. I think Ten Hag's looking at him thinking, when the chips are down, can I rely on you? When Leach is fit, I can rely on him. When Maguire's fit, I can rely on him. I might not like him, but I can rely on him. And I don't think he can rely on Varane. As much as he's had a great career and all this, I think, I said this in the last podcast, I think Varane goes to Al Nassr, and I think Casemiro goes to Al Hilal.
Both in January? Well, that's a big prediction from our Dazza right there.
Can I just throw something in on the Varane chat? I mean, I think there's a lot of talk, obviously, in the media about potential fallout and stuff like that. And, excuse me, there's a good chance there might have been. But, you know me, I always try and look at things from a slightly different angle. Whereas I think if there was a big issue between the two, I don't think he'd be involved at all. No, look at Jadon Sancho, not included. Garnacho dropped out of the squad. Rashford, he was dropped when there was an issue. So I think it's purely just a case of, as Dazza said, you're not my number one guy right now. And in all fairness to him, when he has come on and played, last week, for example, he was shit. But majority of the fan base, because of his CV and because of who he is, which at the end of the day, it's one of the best CVs you'll ever see in football for a centre-back. But because of that, people it's like he's immune from criticism that he should be starting. He was awful. He was awful. And we've been saying for years and months that we need a manager that's going to play people that deserve to be playing. Based on when he's played, doesn't deserve to be playing. So, what can we do with it? I think, like you say, time's up. When you have major injuries, it has a big physiological effect on you as you get older. And I just don't think he's got the body for it. So, he's a good player, and he's the sort where I think, for us to move on, players like him will end up going. It's inevitable, really, to be honest.
I think Varane, to be fair to Varane, I mean, hell of a career at Real Madrid. One of the best centre backs probably, other than Sergio Ramos. And fair play to him. He's got trophies, but he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit the way Ten Hag wants to play, and I think that's the disconnect here. Knowing they probably had a bunch of conversations, and I think that's reflected on. You can see it on Varane's face every time he wants to step onto the pitch for us. So.
Yeah. Where I am going to sorry, I just wanted to where I will sympathise with Varane a bit, and I'll be honest, I sympathise with any centre back at United in the past few years. Look at the midfield he used to play behind compared to what he plays for now.
Completely exposed.
When he was at the likes of Real Madrid, he wasn't getting exposed because he was doing less defending than he was anything else. Yeah. So it's
that's fair.
That's where I will sympathise with him. But I think for me, at the end of the day, he's not his number one pick right now. So
you just need to look at Erik Ten Hag's history with us and other teams. If there was an argument there, like Benno said, he just wouldn't be in the team. He'd cast them out. So I don't buy the bollocks really of an argument or anything like that. I just think Ten Hag's had a look at him and thought, "You're not for me."
So
that's it.
Let's just say hypothetically that Daz's prediction comes true, right? And Varane and Casemiro go in January. Jono, in Europe, if you, off the top of your head, can you think of a centre-back that can come in that we can go ahead and get in January that can maybe replace or at the very least be competitive with Lindelof and Maguire and Evans and the rest?
I think we're getting to Jim. and you know where I'm going with this. There's a centre back at Nice. I think we'll get him.
Is that a backhander? Is that a backhand deal?
Just let me say this one thing, right? I'm a big advocate for Todibo. I think Todibo's a class act, right? And I think we are going to go for him big time, but not because of Sir Jim. I think we're just going to go for him because he's a top young centre back. I also like Soba. I know who Chase likes. I know who Chase really likes.
There's three players.
I know.
Three players.
I do think Todibo and Tapsoba, and they're only 22 and 23. And I know Chase's ones are younger, but
there's three
Todibo
players.
and Tapsoba for me.
There's three centre backs I think that could automatically fit in January, and that would be Antonio Silva from Benfica, Gonzalo Inacio from Sporting, and Todibo.
How much Portuguese football do you watch, Chase?
I watch quite a bit, especially if
Just put it out there, mate. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and agree with you or disagree. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't watch it unless it's a player that I see. Unless it's a single out player
all I'm gonna say is Victor Lindelof looked like fucking Fabio Cannavaro in that league, and look at him now. Don't come at me with fucking players from the only defender I will say that has been decent in the Premier League has been Diaz, Ruben Diaz, and look at the players that are surrounded by Diaz.
Exactly, but how do you also build a squad as well around those type of centre backs, right? Exactly.
I'd look at two. I think Todibo seems to be the one that crops up, and I know he signed a new contract a couple of months ago, but you know, Everton need a bit of cash, and I like the look of that Jarrett Branthwaite. He's played in Holland as well. He's played in the Premier League, so he's kind of acclimatised to that. I think he looks very good. He's a technically sound player, and I think that's what we lack, technically sound players. You look at Man City, again, I'd say it, but you look at them, you could put any of their players, change them all up on the system, and I bet they could all still do the job. Yeah, you've got John Stones playing centre midfield, for Christ's sake, and he's bossing it. You know, so I think that's where we lack for Erik to really kick on.
So basically, to be able to play in the Premier League, you have to be, or to stand out, you got to be Premier League proven. Is that what it's saying here?
I didn't say that. No, I just simply said the fact he's got that always helps a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. One comment. One person I want to call up as well, I haven't said my player of the game yet, is Onana. I think another clean sheet for Onana will build his confidence. I think he's now fourth in the rankings for clean sheets this season in the Prem. We know the keeper's there, but I think it goes back to what we were just speaking about the centre backs. We haven't got the centre backs to pay out of the back that Onana's used to yet. The only one we've got who can really play out the back properly is Martinez, and he's injured. So I think he needs a Martinez back and maybe a Todibo to play out the back like he wants to with Onana. And I think that's why you haven't seen the best of Onana we saw it into yet.
And Lissandro played in a lower league than the Portuguese league, right? Didn't he play in the Arrivederci?
I agree with
you. He was an Erik Ten Hag signing, bro. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think Maguire stepped up the last couple of weeks, taking the ball forward, progressing it, diagonals. I think Maguire, he's up to his game.
Maguire's probably the best long-range passer in the team.
Honestly.
That signature crossfield ball is a beauty. Beauty.
They're going to start telegraphing it, all right? Because he does it all the time, man.
Right, boys. Let's get into this. Did we scrape the win yesterday, or did we not? I'm gonna wait. I want everyone to talk, and then I'm gonna come to Benno at the end because I know Benno's point of view is a bit different to, for instance, myself and Chase, and we'll have a bit of a Royal Rumble at the end. So, Dazza, what did you think? Dazza, actually, we're gonna skip Dazza. Jono, what did you think?
Ready to go.
I think, I think we did. But we got another result, and we can just get point. I just want points at the moment. We're not playing well, but we still need to get the results. Like I said last week, even under Sir Alex Ferguson, when we weren't playing well, we'd get results, and we're doing that at the moment. Not in the Champions League. That was very disappointing, but in the league, we're still getting results, even if we're not playing well. And as we said, we're in the last 5 games, we're the most informed team in the Prem somehow. I don't know if that happened, but just keep getting results at the moment.
So you just to cut a long story short, you did think we scraped it.
Yeah, but
right.
That's
1-0. That's 1-0 to the Scrapers. All right.
I could not care if we score a winner of Harry Maguire's arse at the moment, as long as we get the 3 points.
That's fucking massive.
That's it. I'll let you go ahead, boy.
I'm telling you now, we did not scrape that. We absolutely dominated that game. The performance was fucking not where we want it to be, right? But there was no chance we were losing that game. So, yeah, we should have won 3, 4, 5. And like I said, one day we're going to give somebody an absolute spanking. But there's no way we scraped that game. No way we scraped that game. We got lucky with the goal, but we should have scored 3, 4, 5 easy. So, it was comfortable. It was actually a non-event watching it because I thought, we're not going to lose this game. We might not win it, but we're not going to lose it. So, I don't think we scraped it.
Just on, I know you're saying we had so many chances, blah blah blah. Now, say for example, the Lindelof. Let's be really honest here. That Lindelof goal was just very fortuitous and lucky. If that hadn't have come about, boy, last 5 minutes, would you have been a bit jittery? Would your opinion have changed a bit?
I still think, see if it ended a draw, right? I'd have been fuming that we didn't win the game because I just didn't think we were ever in danger. I know they had shots at goal. Apart from that header, which I think Onana dealt with really comfortably, they never bothered us at all. Onana was never in any danger of losing his clean sheet at the weekend. I hate sounding so cocky, but I thought we made the game harder than what it needed to be honest with you. Our performance level wasn't where it needed to be. But yeah, we made that game look hard. And I don't think
same shit, different day, to be fair.
Yeah. But no, we didn't. Not that.
Right, so we're 1-1. 1-1. It's 1-1. Chaser. Did we scrape it or not?
Oh, we by the skin of our fucking teeth.
Woo! It's 2-1 to the Scrapers. Come on. Now, elaborate a bit on that, yeah?
Well, one, Rashford is shit. I mean, had so many chances, couldn't finish his dinner. I mean, he was gifted a pass by Anthony, who just came on, by the way. Just came on.
Golden
Beautiful
boy.
pass, gives him the ball, and he fucks it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Awful. What did he do during the game? Fuck all. We had created so many chances, couldn't finish it whatsoever. Barely scraped it. We were lucky to get that chance with Lindelof. Otherwise, I could have seen it being a draw.
Yeah.
Why aren't you sharing that same energy at Garnacho, by the way, Chase? Because he had more chances than Rashford, and he couldn't hit a barn door yesterday.
He didn't have a wide open chance like Rashford did he?
Oh, I don't think you watched the game, pal.
He was let's see, Rashford. I don't think anyone was more gifted. I don't think anyone was more gifted than Rashford.
We can kick that conversation off a bit later on, but so we're 2-1. We're 2-1 to the Scrapers. Benno, we know where you're going with this. Hit it.
Yeah, I am. The results, but it was a dominating performance. It was a 1-0 battering, as I like to call it. Probably the best player on the pitch, bar Harry Maguire, was probably their keeper in the true harsh reality. Yes, it wasn't where we would expect the performance levels to be, and it can be a lot better. But scraping it, as I said before, is what we did against Fulham. Yesterday, we never looked like losing the game. We never looked like conceding a goal. We were completely dominant. We just could not finish our chances. Like I say, another week we score 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 goals if they go in. We're having a completely different conversation right now. So yes, not ideal, but it's certainly not scraping a 1-0 victory. So yeah,
I
there's
do have to add, I meant to say this. I thought Ross Barkley played really well. I said it in a space when we were watching it. I don't know if you were in it, Ben, when we were talking. Ross Barkley impressed me. He's been through the ringer as well. But Ross Barkley impressed me in the middle of the pitch. But yeah, I've already had my say on it.
We could do with him at the minute, I won't lie. So we have, as one of our Mag 24/7 Reds has commented, and it's directed at Chase. So as says, Chase, to be fair, this is in reference to Rashford. Chase, to be fair, that's only the only chance he had. Also, you're forgetting that the chance he made for Hoyland. What would your response to Az be on that, bro?
Yeah. If he had one chance, he shouldn't have taken it, right? He should have put it in the back of the net, and he would have did that last year. Where is he now?
Woo! It's getting spicy in here.
No, I smell an agenda. Can anybody smell an agenda?
He's just not good enough.
In terms of whether we scraped it or not, so it's 2-2, and unfortunately for Daz and Benno, I haven't had my say. So I'm here. Listen. I'm going off the score, and a 1-0 is a 1-0, and it's a scrape. We scraped it, and the reason I'm going to say we scraped it is because that goal was so lucky and fortuitous. I'm a broken record now, but in my head, we were against a better team. We would have got punished, which we have done time and time again so far this season. And I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated at just the tempo that we play. Every game seems to look like a friendly. It's almost as if we came out against Luton thinking, it's only Luton. But here, listen, a win's a win. That's, as Jono pointed out, that's the main thing. I saw a stat yesterday for all the Erik Ten Hag outers, and that he needs to be shown the door. The first man to get to 50 Prem wins, the only other fella to do so behind him, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
So all the Erik Ten Hag haters can go fuck themselves. But I do think I wasn't happy with that performance yesterday. I haven't been happy with many performances. Actually, I'll go as far to say I think the performance of the season was during the week when we were absolutely cruising in the Champions League. Now, I'm not going to bring up that game because PTSD and all the rest, but I thought that before the red card for Rashford, I thought we were brilliant. But anyway, Luton, I wasn't happy. And I do believe we scraped it because all it could have taken was just a little corner and a header. They did get a header, and as someone pointed out there, Onana saved it. But I think we did scrape it. And I must say, at home against such a small team, and no offense to Luton fans, like in comparison to Manchester United, you're expecting to beat them at least 3, 4, 5. But anyway, that's my
Liverpool. You say that, Liverpool.
Now, what I will say about the Liverpool, that is a good point. And I saw someone commented in I think it was Masood, one of our Mag 24 Reds. Again, he did comment that Liverpool almost got done, but that was at Luton Town's home ground. At Old Trafford, in my opinion, should be a totally different story. And I believe we should have battered them. Now, as Benno pointed out, we did batter them in terms of stats and shots and all the rest. But as Chase pointed out as well, you don't take them fucking chances. It means fuck all. Anyway.
Yeah, we only had 4 shots on target.
Hey?
Doesn't matter how many shots you have if you only have 4 of them on target.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter how many shots you have if you only have 4 of them on target.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Chase as well. Can I ask you a quick question? I can see Az has put something in the comments here. Like, what about Højlund? The fact he missed a chance from a yard out. Why have you not got the same energy for him that you have for Marcus Rashford not taking his?
Well, because at least Rasmus is actually doing something, providing something.
Mate, in all fairness, with all due respect, he hasn't scored a goal in 10 Premier League games. So
yeah, but isn't he the leading scorer in the Champions League? At least he's putting the goal somewhere.
we're talking about yesterday's game, though, weren't we? Not Champions League.
We're talking about overall performance. You're talking about Rashford, who hasn't done fuck all season.
I'm going to hop in here, and the difference between Marcus Rashford for me and Rasmus Højlund is fucking work rate. Work rate and putting the hard yards and the graft in. For me, Rashford doesn't do that. I think he's an absolute disgrace. His work rate is a disgrace. His body language is disgraceful. Anyway, I said this before, but that in my head is the difference.
Yeah, mate, I get what you're saying. I'm not disputing that at all when you look at the two players, but you know me, I'm the same. If you're going to have an energy for one player about missing a chance, why haven't you got it towards others as well? That's my only thing with it, mate.
I could say the same. You have the same energy for Anthony. Why don't you have the same energy for Rashford?
I've not come on here ranting about an Anthony miss, have I?
Well, you've
come on here and spoke about Rashford missing a chance, but you're refusing to acknowledge Garnacho's. Let's be honest.
You always rant about Anthony, but you don't have the same energy for Rashford. Are you? Am
I bringing that up? Am I bringing it up right now?
I am.
Am I bringing it up right now? You brought up Rashford, so I'm throwing back at your Højlund and Garnacho.
And
that's the question. I'm not asking that. I'm asking that.
But at least Garnacho's putting in the work. Where was Rashford yesterday, other than that one shot?
Yeah, I must say I hate agreeing with Chase, but I have to agree with him. The work, when you look at Rasmus Højlund and Alejandro Garnacho's work rate and their outputting and their hard yards. You can see they break their bollocks all over the pitch. With Rashford, I don't see that. And that's where the frustration, that's why I'm agreeing with Chase here, because
mate, I'm agreeing with you both on that. But he's talking about Rashford and that miss. So why isn't he talking about somebody else in that miss? That's what I'm saying.
That's where the frustration is lying.
I think Højlund, he's getting not away with it. I don't like using that term, getting away with it, but I think he's got a bit of leeway, Højlund, because he's just come in. He's such a young boy, and we're all trying to just get him to where he needs to be. And we know that he's a young boy leading that line. He probably needs somebody experienced with him. I think the problem with Rashford is there's a lot of built-up apathy about Rashford. Do I think he's good enough for what we need? No, I don't. But he's there, so I'll support him. But the problem for me is you've got a past history with Rashford about shucking 50-50s, maybe not putting it in and all this kind of stuff. I think Rashford is the quintessential purple patch player. He will go through months of doing nothing. And then what you'll probably find is, see in January, he might explode and just go on a run of 25 games where he's scoring a goal a game. I think he's a purple patch player. He's not one of these players that, like Harry Kane, can just churn it. Andy Cole used to be able to just churn it. Purple patch players, man. And he is frustrating. And I think because he's been playing for so long, there is a lot of the fan base that are just like, what the fuck is he doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where we are now. Højlund's getting
why does he keep getting why does he keep getting picked? That's my grip. That's why this is the issue I have with it.
He hits that purple patch. I think that there's a hope that he hits that road.
Saw what he did
if he
last
hits that road, we've seen what he can. He's got the ability, Marcus, to absolutely destroy teams and run that league. But he needs to get on that patch, and I think that's why.
Fans have been hopping on. 300. Fans have been hopping on Anthony. Okay, fans have been hopping on Anthony and Erik Ten Hag that he has favoritism for Anthony. Anthony got dropped.
Yeah.
Why isn't Rashford fucking getting dropped? Now, he got dropped for one game and straight back in the team. Why isn't he getting dropped? I want to know why, because he's not putting the performances in to warrant a starting berth.
I don't think there's anything better him at the club at the moment.
Nah, man.
I think from a personal opinion wise, and I think this is taking away any opinion on a certain individual. This is just purely from being in a sporting background and stuff like that. So you have some players that cope. Okay, I won't speak. You have some players that do better by playing their way out of form. Some people have to step away and regroup. Some people have to play their way back into it. It happens in a lot of sport. We all have our own potential issues where sometimes we have to shut ourselves away and deal with something. Sometimes we confront it. We don't know what conversations are going on behind the scenes, so it's a tricky one. You know what? Looking at it from a player's point of view and a form point of view, yeah, do you know what? Arguably, he shouldn't be getting picked right now. But if he believes that, at the end of the day, there's a reason we're on a podcast and Erik Ten Hag's in the position that he's in. And if he believes that having him in the side offers the best balance for the way he wants to play, might not agree with it, but I'm on board with it. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
I'm all for giving people a chance, Benno, and with the hope that he returns to form. I totally get that, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But do you not think he's been given way too long a fucking chance?
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair observation to make. It's a fair observation to make, and like I say, we don't know what's obviously going on behind the scenes or if anything's been said and all that. We don't know what level of ability he's showing in training. Clearly training is a bit of an issue with Erik Ten Hag when you look at what's gone on with Jadon Sancho, for example. Me just as much as the next person, I'd love to see some of these other players get an opportunity, the likes of Pellistri getting a run of games and so on, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and it's a term I don't like using, but if he believes he's going to get the best out of him by doing it, then we all know Rashford, when he's on it, is more dangerous than any other player in our team. So, like what we're saying with regards to team performance, we're waiting for something to click. Maybe with Rashford, something is just waiting to click as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
Just click to the next page.
No, I saw a comment actually from Alan Shearer earlier today, and he said that Marcus Rashford is a player that looks unhappy. Now, can someone give it maybe an insight into why the fuck would he be unhappy? Is it because he's been made play on the right a couple of times because we've seen his toys being thrown out of the pram when he's told to play on the right wing?
300,000 of
cry into those notes there, boy.
I think the money's got nothing to do with it, Chase. Honestly, I seen something last. I think I mentioned it in the pre-chat before the podcast last week, where there's this thing about Marcus Rashford when he's with his girlfriend, he's the best player in the fucking world. And when he falls out with his missus, his head goes down and he loses his head. Now they've split up again apparently. And his fucking head's all over the place. He just doesn't look on it.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. I didn't realise that too. Someone mentioned it.
So basically,
I don't know if she can play midfield either.
So basically, what it is, when he's with her, he's strong, and when he's not, he's just weak. So he's a weak motherfucker. That's what it is.
I think I'm going to simplify it a little bit. I think because I'm going to bring up a few players here. I think realistically, he's unhappy because he's not performing at the level he should be. Anthony looks pissed off because he ain't playing at the level he should be. Bruno Fernandes looks pissed off because he's not playing at the level he should be. Rasmus Højlund, every time he comes off, he's pissed off because he ain't scoring the goals. You look at Højlund on the bench at Fulham last week. He had a face like a smacked arse. If that's a higher profile player, that's making back pages of the newspapers and all that, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, the simple thing is Rashford is not delivering the level that he has done. So at the end of the day, he has done it. So we can't call it a fluke or anything like that. He's not delivering. That's the simple fact of the matter. He's not delivering. Now, if I was struggling in my job or anything like that, or if I was letting, I'd be getting pissed off. And I'm sure anyone else would probably agree with it. So I'm going to simplify it. I think it's purely down to the fact of he's not doing what he knows, and we all know, he's capable of doing. It's a class.
That's a fair point, but my gripe with it is the players. Funny enough, the players you just mentioned put in the hard yards. At least he doesn't.
I wonder. I've heard people talk about this in the past.
And Rashford's on the biggest fucking money as well. Let's not forget that.
I wonder whether or not, because I know people have spoke about this in the past, where often they've seen Ten Hag on the touchline with Rashford, and you kind of wonder whether or not is he told not to, because he's the quickest player at getting up the pitch. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not saying it's an excuse not to work, but when you've got a player, you look at how many times did he score goals last year where he was the furthest one at the pitch, we're on the break, and he scored. I don't know. I don't know. But
so he gets. He gets a special treatment because he's got speed. I mean, fuck.
Do you think it's been mentioned?
Well, you're going to play players to their attributes, aren't you, Chase? Let's be honest here.
Well, if you can't,
not to the point where your left back's getting exposed time and time again. It's becoming detrimental to the team.
If you can't fit the way it's going to be played in the whole system and actually track back for your teammates, then get the fuck.
There's always I've seen it in the media before, and I can see Xander's getting annoyed in chat about this.
Yeah, I was
about the agenda against Rashford. There is agenda against English players in this country. It has been for years. Even yesterday, if that was Bruno Fernandes who came out blaming injuries for Newcastle, he'd be thrown under the bus.
Yeah,
because it's an English player in for Newcastle. The media aren't talking about it.
I completely agree, John. I think that's a really fair point. If that was any Man United player, by the way, it would be headline news that a Man United player's arguing with the fans. Any player, not even an English player, any Man United player. But because it's Newcastle and they're the media darlings just now, it's different. I'm just seeing Xander in the chat. Big TC's going to come for you, Xander. You don't behave.
Just in reference to you made a point there about United being so fucking big. When City won the treble, what was on the back page? The 3/4 of the back page was Rashford breaking up with his girlfriend or getting engaged, one or the other, I can't remember. And then a little snippet in the corner with City winning the fucking treble, bro.
The other way I can
fucking hated it, door. Never ignored, motherfuckers. Honestly, we're huge.
Benno, you remember this? Remember when Pogba had the argument with the boy in the Stretford then? Headline news for 3 days, by the way.
That filled TalkSport up for a week.
I can't even listen to TalkSport anymore.
Yeah, I know, mate.
Let's not even go there, man. But yeah, so yeah, Newcastle are what they are. They are what they are.
They're the
Northeast.
They're the changing room selfie champions. Fucking bunch of waffling jokers, bro. Anyway, we've discussed a lot about the players. Now let's move on to the manager, boys. There's a lot have been said about Erik Ten Hag, this and that. Is he out of his depth? Blah blah fucking blah. But the likes of Klopp is a fucking genius, etc., etc. Now, what are we thinking? Is Erik Ten Hag out of his depth? We'll start out with Jono, and then we'll move to Daz, Benno, and then Chase. Jono, what you reckon?
I'm going to go both sides of the fence here. No, he's not. But I think that stats around most wins is a bit up and down, because you could see more of a style and where the team was going. Even they hadn't got him as much points, you could see where Liverpool were trying to get to after that 50 games. They got less points, but you could see the direction that Klopp wanted to take him. I love Ten Hag, and we definitely need to back him, but I think that direction isn't there, if you know what I mean. And it's amazing, that stat, but I'm just seeing both sides of the fence, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Dazza, what you reckon?
I'm going to dive in head first, fucking power bomb. I am 100% Erik Ten Hag in, and I'm going to completely disagree with some of what John said there. I remember when Jurgen Klopp got the Liverpool job, and I remember he was that close. He was that close to getting the bullet. That close. Remember the first 2-3 years? They won fucking nothing. They were burnt out by Christmas. They used to fall away after Christmas because they were knackered because of the training sessions. And Liverpool fans were phoning up TalkSport, wanting them out. I remember it clearly like it was yesterday. So, and the same with Arteta as well. Exact same with Arteta. I've got a stat in front of me now. In 50 Premier League games, Arteta gets 75 points. Jurgen Klopp get 92 points, and Erik Ten Hag get 96 points. 96. And the other thing I would say is none of them have had 21 players injured at any given time during a season. None of them, apart from Erik Ten Hag.
Now, we're not allowed to say that. We can't say that.
I know. And the direction for me is just look at last season as a reference point. We are going to play possession-based, passing, progressive football. But because of other factors that we have, we cannot move the players on quickly enough. We can't get the players in quickly enough and the numbers that we need to play that game. But eventually, and me and Ben have spoken about this, eventually that's going to happen and it's going to click and we're going to give someone an absolute fucking spanking. I'm telling you. But I'm 100% Erik Ten Hag. And I said it in the last podcast, no matter what, we need to keep this guy in post. And whoever the owners are going to be, he needs to be given a chance with not one hand tied behind his back. Because let's be honest, being able to sign 3 players per season permanently and then the rest on loan, it's not good enough. It's not helpful. And how can you do a rebuild like that? It's impossible. So, I mean, I've had arguments on Twitter and X with all sorts of people that we know and we don't know about Ten Hag. And I'm just like, there was a guy that we know calling him out yesterday. And I said to him this morning, what are you calling him out on? Tell me what you're calling him out. Let's have a chat. Like, he's just shite. And I'm like, based on what? Based on what? Tell me what he's shite. Because he wasn't shite last season or the previous 4 seasons beyond that. So, yeah, I'm 100% Ten Hag again. 100%.
Yeah.
Benno, what you reckon?
Yeah. I think I'll take a bit of it. I'm obviously swaying. At the end of the day, I want to back a manager, and I want to see him succeed. I never want to see a manager fail, especially when it's obviously a club that you're at now. You know, we could pick it apart as much as we wanted to, and yeah, do you know what? Some of the performances aren't acceptable, aren't good enough. You could question some of his in-game management, but hey, who am I to question that? Because we're all experts when it comes to hindsight in the day. Because if he does them things and it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, no, he's rubbish. Blah blah blah. I think it woke a few people up yesterday. I think seeing them stats come out because people were starting to actually see that we are in kind of an upward trajectory. It might not be as quick as we want to be going. At the end of the day, we've got to be patient with these kind of things. But you can't fully judge a manager until he's given the right tools to work with, and until he gets that, for me, I can't kind of slander him or anything like that. Yes, I could question things based on my views, but from that, clearly, he's a football man. I've read his book, very good read. If anybody else, if you haven't read it, I would have a look at it. He's football on the brain constantly. You can see and you can read upon what he tries to do when it comes to a football club and a football team. Now, yes, we're not going as quick as in a direction that we want to be going in, but we are clearly, getting there. And when we've got a load of these players leave and new ones come in, I think that's when we can really start to judge him. The money he spent, not his fault. He identifies a player. It's up to the club to go and get it. So I can't judge him on that. I hate it when they pull them stats up. Oh, but Liverpool have a net spend of 146 million in 5 years. So what? Who gives a shit? Like, the player says who he wants, it's up to the club to go and get it. So, if the problem he's had, he's set his level based on last season. So the problem is anything less than that, it's deemed as a downward step. So let's see how it goes with him. But hopefully, with a potential change of structure looming looming. Hopefully, we might see a manager start to get what he really wants. So,
And
we'll
you've
see.
seen what he can do with the structure at Ajax, and without that structure, Ajax have collapsed. They're in the relegation zone. Without the structure behind that Ten Hag had at Ajax, they have collapsed. They're in the relegation zone, and in Holland, the manager got sacked. I think
They're in big trouble, John, aren't they?
Yeah,
huge trouble they're in.
I think the biggest credit, obviously, was for Ajax as well was Mark Overmars.
Yeah, we won't go into why he.
That was one of the big. That was one of the big successes. That was one of the big successes that helped Ten Hag as well, along with his management staff. But for me, Ten Hag in 100%. I'll take Ten Hag over these players any fucking day. Any of them could fucking go. Don't care who it is. It's the manager. For me, he's. I believe.
Definitely.
Since watching him at Ajax and watching his documentary, reading some stuff about him, he's the one. Other than
his best,
he's the one.
Yeah, 100%. I'll just give my 2 cents on it. So, I've always been Erik Ten Hag in. Always from the very start. I think he's the best manager we've had since Sir Alex. I truly believe this. Since he's come in, it's been a fucking nightmare. He's dealt with everything impeccably. This club has turned into a circus, full circle at the minute, and it's a nightmare. And it's like the Titanic. It's sinking at the minute, but he's still on the top deck with the players, keeping them all above board. And I think he deserved massive respect for this. We've seen 21 injuries this season, 21 including the 2 yesterday, yeah? We are, what is it, 3 points off fucking fourth or something like that? Well, I think we're...
7 off top. 7 off top.
We're 4 points off Spurs, I think.
Jono,
we're 7
off Spurs.
We're
going to first.
Like, I just think, give the man some respect, give him some credit, and hopefully this takeover will be done and dusted soon, and he can actually work in a steady fucking non-toxic environment and let him get his players over the next year or so or whatever it may be, and then come back and we can criticize him. Benno has a comment there. Do you want to fire ahead, bro?
Yeah, it's more of an open question here. It doesn't necessarily have to be answered. Now, I always say to people, and obviously this isn't aimed at anybody here, this is a generic one. If you've got a problem, give me a solution, right? So if Erik Ten Hag's the problem, under this current situation, the current structure, who comes in and does a better job? Because for me, you don't get rid of someone unless you can get someone better. So whether or not people want to answer that, whether they want to put it in the comments, or just take a moment to think and reflect on that scenario, that's all I'm going to say on that one.
Yeah, I don't want any other manager.
No.
Like, unless, no, there's no unless, but just let's give it hypothetical. Unless, hypothetically, we have fucking Carlo Ancelotti signed up for the next 4 years. Good luck. Like, there's no one else anyway, regardless. But I don't want anyone regardless anyway. We want Ten Hag in. We want him to work under a good environment, a healthy environment, without any noise, without anything.
Give it Giggsy at the end of the season.
Give it to Giggsy.
We're going on a title charge.
TC, it's a fair comment, but they'd have to lock up the daughters and the wives, bro. We couldn't be doing that.
So for everyone here, just for the notes, Giggsy will save us all. I mean, to be fair, how many managers have tried to come and save us? Top managers, Jose Mourinho, Van Gaal. You're telling me even if we sign,
it's way too early. You know what they'll do?
even if we got a Carlo Ancelotti, he would still fail. Doesn't matter. You could bring anybody in, and they're going to fail.
I think it's a testament to him, Chase. I think it's a testament to Ten Hag.
You know what they'll do?
Well,
it's way too early.
Honestly, I agree with everything Killian said. I think Ten Hag is the only manager that I wanted to come in. I didn't really want any of them, to be honest with you, that we got. But I was so excited with him because for me, and I'm not a football man. I'm just a working class football guy that loves his team and wants the best for my team. And when I looked across Europe for managers, he was the one I thought, he's the guy I want. He's the guy I want. And I'm so impressed by him.
I liked watching Ajax, and when when Ten Hag came onto the scene at Ajax, I really started to pay attention. And when we were in the conversation for managers, it was no ifs, ands, or buts. I want Ten Hag because I saw what he can do, and he has done what previous managers couldn't do.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Some of the football they played in that Champions League run was incredible, absolutely incredible. You know,
and do you know exactly what would happen as well? It's way too early. If they did make that call and got rid of him, they're appointing Michael Carrick. Let's be honest. And as good as he's done at Middlesbrough, I think he's dropped off a bit this season. 100% they're giving it to Michael Carrick till the end of the season, at least, if they made that change.
I don't think so.
I
put money on that.
I'll say it again. He is not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. I'll say it over and over again. He's not going anywhere.
I agree, yeah. I'm just saying, if they were going to make that change,
I hope not.
You know how incompetent they are. That is what they'd do.
Yeah, I hope not.
With the shit show that's been this season so far, like we're 5 points off fourth spot, and we're only 7 points off top spot. With all our injuries, all the bullshit surrounding that club at the minute, it ain't bad. The only way is up. Anything more we want to add? Anything more under discussion, guys?
I think.
We have got a video. Obviously, there was the protests against the ownership this weekend. So our good old mate from the mag, Phil, was at the protest. So
24/7 Red.
We have got a video from him on how the protest went.
Hi Reds, Phil here from the magnificent 24/7 Reds. Apologies that I can't be here tonight with other commitments, but I'm here to give you my view on yesterday's events, especially with the 58 protest. I was representing the magnificent 24/7 on behalf of the 58, as well as representing myself and as well as the fan base. There's been a few comments with regards to the outcome and the exposure of the protest, and admittedly it wasn't the best, but it's getting a lot of criticism now. I've personally met the 58 bunch, and let's just get this out of the way now. I'm in no way, shape or form a representative of the 58. My views are my own. They're my own personal views and my own personal opinions. So I have no affiliation to the 58. I'm just a normal fan like everybody else that represents the fan base to get the Glazers out. Now, yesterday's protest was held at the Northwest Quadrant with banners, flags, and obviously you've seen all the photos. And it wasn't the greatest turnout, and we even said that when we was there. For me to say it was poor isn't quite the right description. It could have been better, and that's nothing to do with the organisation. It's nothing to do with the lads that run it. It's purely my personal opinion. It kind of alluded to the fact that, or resigned to the fact
It just seemed to have a bit of technical.
and it started at 2 o'clock. So we walked down to the northwest quadrant, got the banners out, and then immediately we had a swarm of people in front of us taking photos. Now we had to encourage those to get behind us, get behind the banners and the flags, and a few did, and it just seemed to be a bit, the confidence wasn't there to actually join us, so we had to encourage them to get behind us. And it done a job. It got the exposure, it got some form of media attention with regards to cameras, videos being taken, and fans that are passing by that were taking photos. And some of them actually joined in, and the ones that did actually sung, they chanted, and they actually sung for something they believed in. Now this is a bit of a tricky one, because a lot of people on social media, especially Twitter at the moment, don't agree with the 58 and what they do and what their movement and what they stand for. They think it's pointless. And let me tell you something, from me, it's something I believe in. It's something that I truly feel passionate about. And let's get facts straight here. They're the only group, or the only active group of people that are doing something about it. Whether you agree on it, whether it's going to work, or whether it's pointless, and you're sitting there, hands on seats, doing nothing, but yet you've got the power and you've got the confidence to tweet out on Twitter saying, oh, the 58 are rubbish, or the 58 are pointless, we need to empty Old Trafford, we need to ask season ticket holders to give up their seats, we need to send a message clearly to the media and the broadcasters. Unless you're doing that illegally, it won't work. You ask any United fan to give up their seat or risk doing an illegal movement, I'm not going to risk getting arrested. I've got family at home, I've got a job, I've got a livelihood to look after. So no, if anybody's going to ask me to storm the pitch, try and get a game cancelled, you've got no chance. No. Back to yesterday's movement, I personally felt proud to be involved. I felt proud that they allowed me to hold one of their banners up. They trusted me. But I also feel proud of myself for actually doing something, or trying to do something. I'm not just sitting here doing nothing and criticising people that are trying. Now they are the only active group. It was a bit of a disappointment yesterday, because personally I thought there'd be a bigger attendance, but you can generally tend to get a feel of how things are before the match, and the surroundings of Old Trafford, the bars, the pubs, just the general outside atmosphere was pretty low, possibly because it wasn't a big game, but every game is a big game for us at the moment, but that's by the by. It was just a bit of a disappointment, but we actually achieved what we wanted to achieve. We got the exposure. They know who the 58 are, the club. So for me, it was a very proud moment. I took a friend to the match with me who was absolutely buzzing to be part of that protest. He's not on social media, look, funny enough, and he wasn't aware of the 58. He knew there was protests, but he wasn't aware who the 58 were and who the organisation were. And he actually got to personally meet them. And in essence, they were just a cracking, great bunch of lads who actually care for the club. And they've got to a point now where they actually forget how it is to experience a match. Now, you just take into context that these are season ticket holders, match-going fans, or whatever you want to call them. They just want to go to a game and enjoy it as much as I do. And they actually give up their time, their family life, their social life. It all revolves around organising these kind of protests. Now they've done massive marches. So yesterday was another protest in essence, and it was just disappointing with the turnout. It's just that people seem to have forgotten what we're actually fighting for. And that's Glazers out, and it always has been. 100% sale of the club, 69% of the shares gone. That's all they want. Now, I enjoyed it yesterday. If I'm asked 10 times over, I won't hesitate to say no. Now, to wrap this up, yes, it was a disappointment. but the message got across. I enjoyed it. It's for a good cause in getting the Glazers out for the future of our club. So I'll sign off by saying, if you're going to criticise the 58, then you better be doing something about it yourself. You can empty Old Trafford, you can start that up again if you want, but by all means, do something about it. Do not call the 58 or any other fan that gets behind them. Now I know the Magnificent 24/7 are avid fans and backers of the 58. For me, if you're not doing anything about it, you have literally got no right to be coming at others that want to try something and what they believe in.
Is that the end there,
That's
John,
after
or was it
58.
Yeah.
Brooklyn?
So yeah, that was an end. It's a great video there by Phil. Thanks for sending that in, Phil. Massive respect for representing us yesterday at the protest. Not the best turnout, but we got the message across.
Yeah, big up
Let's
Phil.
get these owners out.
Big time.
Hats off to Phil. Hats off to Phil.
Yeah, thanks so much, Phil, on behalf of the Mag 24/7 Reds. Thank you so much for representing us, and big up to 58. Love the work you are doing, and can't praise you more enough. And let's just all bind together now. You know, we keep saying it. Our fan base, amongst other fan bases, like, we don't need rival fan bases. Our fan base is so fractured and divided. Like, we just need to come
united, not divided.
Be united. Follow. Try and come together for the cause, for our beloved club, to get rid of these snakes. And the voice and the people that are doing the most work are the 58. Mm-hmm. So don't be pointing fingers at anyone if you're not doing it yourself. Philo said it perfectly there. If you're not doing anything yourself, don't be pointing fingers at the 58, because the 58 are doing fucking wonders for our fan base. So get behind them, or shut the fuck up and do something yourself.
Imagine how much stronger it would be if we all do the same fucking thing. Join them. Yeah. One band, one sound. Let's all get together now.
The only thing I would add, and I agree 100% with everybody. The only thing I would add is we've had Steve on our channel for the 58. The 58 are happy to get together with anyone. It's not an ego thing. It's not this is our ball, we're doing it, you can't do it. They're happy to work with anybody.
Yep, definitely.
And I heard somebody talking about Must yesterday. I can't tell you how disappointed I am with Must, by the way. And if you want to talk about the Man United Supporters Trust, do a bit of looking into who's on there, why they're on there, and what they're doing in there. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying about that. Get behind the 58, 100%, full sale only.
Yeah, 100%. And just to sort of extinguish this bullshit rumour that the 58 are fucking thugs. Daz, can you just touch upon a protest that you went with your little girl?
I've been there. She's not been yet, Kellen, but I know what you're alluding to.
Sorry, yeah.
So I've been, right? And when I went down, my wife said to me, just you fucking be careful, right? Don't get into any nonsense. And honestly, me and Steve spoke about this on the channel. The camaraderie I felt was immense, right? And I will go to another protest. The next big march, probably, I'll go down. I'm going to take my eldest daughter, who's 6, because it's that safe. It's not a band of thugs. It's a band of Man United fans, a family of Man United fans that just want the best for their club, our club, your club. We all just need to get together and see if 1% of us just got together. The ramifications of it would be huge. So anybody want to go into a protest, don't think twice about it. Honestly, TC in the comments, he's been to loads of them. Phil's been to them. Luke, who we all know, has been to them. The sit-ins and all this. Jody's been to them. You know, honestly, there's no such. There's not a band of thugs. We've had Steve on the channel. One of the nicest guys you'll ever speak to, and all he gives a fuck about is Man United.
Yeah. All we want is to free our club from the poison. That's all we want, and that's all the 58 want. So join them. Let's be united here. You know, it's that simple. Anyway, it's always Glazers out, full sail only, every fucking day until those snakes are gone.
100%.
Couldn't put it better myself. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been your Mag 247 pod. Catch us next week, and I'm sure we'll have a space in the next few days. And good night.
Up the fucking Reds.
And everyone